Hello friends, 680 days over. Before I start my report from the war zone, I must give you two chilling reports. First is from the UK, reported by The Telegraph. 53,000 more people died last year, which was 2023 than normal. This is the highest number of excess death in a non-pandemic year since World War II. By the way, 2023 saw repeated strikes by the health workers and other trade unions, and also a year when the pauperization increased quite a lot in UK and other so-called developed capitalist countries. Second is the US national debt has increased more than 34 trillion US dollar. In southern war zone on Kherson front, Ukrainians did not ferry reserves across the Dnieper River yesterday. Must be because of continuous surveillance and attack by Russian drones. Ukrainians are also using extensive electronic warfare and drones against the Russians in eastern bank of Dnieper River. Crinky counter-battle attacks continuing from both the sides. On Zaporizhia front in Orikhiv sector, localized battles are continuing towards Robotyno-Verbov direction. No major changes. In Remivki salient, Russian army continuing its offensive operation towards Staromayorsky from western side, and also fight is going towards northern and southern flanks of Novomikhailovka. In north, on Kupiansk-Swato direction, Ukrainians are holding Sinkyivka at all the costs. Positions are changing hands in close proximity of this village and the outskirts. In Liman direction, heavy fight continues towards Tursky as well as in Serebryansky forestry. Russian army is reported to be regrouping for fresh offensive operations in this direction. In eastern front on Bakhmut front, towards Bohdyanivka, only a part is held by the Ukrainians, and Russians are continuously carrying out offensive operations, made some gains, but the grey zone area is expanded more than what Russians have captured. They are also moving along the railway line, moving closer to Chasiv. In southern flank, Klishivka direction, fight is on where Russians have made some gain towards the eastern side. Avdiivka and Kurdyumivka fight continues. Russian army is also attacking towards Krasnoye, but without any gains. In Avdiivka, in the northern side, Russian army continues its offensive operation and forcing Ukrainians to retreat in northern part of Stepnoe and its other flank as well. It is crawling ahead from Krasnohorivka direction and also along with railways towards Okeretino at slow pace. In south of Avdiivka, Russians are advancing from Vodyany direction in an effort to bypass Tonenki, Siversky villages and moving towards Orlivka. Fight continues towards Opitne and also towards Nevelsky as well as Pervomaisky. In Avdiivka, Russian army is actively engaged in war attrition as well as trying to deplete Russians' logistic lines. Marinka, Russians are not stopping their offensive operations towards Novomikhailovka, though gains are limited. They are also moving west of Marinka, and fight continues for Pobeda, which is held by the Ukrainians. ISW said that Russian army made confirmed gains near Avdiivka and Donetsk city. Ukrainians are continuing shelling Russian territories like 8 missiles over Belgorod, 2 from S-200 surface-to-air missiles converted to carry out attacks on ground features, 34 rockets from HIMARS MLRS, and Russians mass shelling attacking Ukrainian territories. Close to 500 pieces of missiles and UAVs seems to have slowed down now. Now in brief, some important points on Palestinian-Israeli war. International Court of Justice called on Israel to immediately carry out ceasefire to avoid a regional war. Some incidents have taken place which could lead to explosive situation in Middle East, like Israelis launched missile attacks on Beirut, killing top Hamas leader. And also yesterday was a terrorist attack in Iran, killing more than 100 people while a procession was taking place to commemorate their top Iranian military leader death anniversary. Red Sea by any chance is not calm. In the meantime, fight continues in Gaza Strip. In north of it, not much of changes. In south, IDF expanded its control zone towards Khan Yunis city. A Palestinian representative claims that Israel has dropped close to 45,000 rockets and bombs, which in weight comes around 65,000 kgs. A survey in Ukraine says that Zelensky's popularity, which was 98% at the beginning of the conflict, is down to 60% now, while 54% think, still in majority, that Ukraine is on right track. And US has imposed sanctions against Niger, Gabon, CAR and Uganda. Lastly, exchange of POW in 5 months between Russia and Ukraine has taken place, where 248 Russians and 230 Ukrainians have been exchanged. The end of my talk. See you tomorrow at same time. Thank you.